Hey everyone, welcome back to Reddit Guy.
Am I the asshole for refusing to cook for my family's Christmas event? This is another story from Reddit. Let's get to the bottom of it. I am a 15-year-old female, and I really like baking and cooking food. Most of the time, I am making everyone little treats to try, or I am cooking dinner for my family based on our background. It is sort of one of my love languages. Often, I will bring food to family events because my aunts and uncles are busy all the time and have little time to make food before they host parties and things like that. And because I am not working yet, I have more time to make all this fun stuff. So on Christmas, we typically open presents at home and then all have lunch and or dinner at someone's house. But this year, my mom said we would not all be together. I was a bit upset, but was like, all right, that is fine with me. Then my aunt calls me and asks me if I have thought of what food I am making for Christmas night. I asked what she meant, and she told me she is having a party and my mom promised I would make food for everyone. I did not really have a problem with that. As I said, I love cooking and it was early notice, so I was just like, oh, I will get ready at this time and then I will have time to make the food. She asked why I would be getting ready. She said it's an adult party, but then I asked for more information and she mentioned cousins my age were going, so I was kind of upset and asked why I was the only one not going. She said my mom thinks I'm just not mature enough for a late party. I told her it honestly just sounded like an excuse. Then I hung up. I went to my mom and she did not see a problem with me not going, but I told her there is no way I'm putting effort into that if I am being excluded. I started crying at that point and it made my mom angry. She said I was being selfish and acting like a child. I kept pressing for a proper reason, but my mom kept saying, I do not want you going and I'm your mother, so that's that. My tone was very rude by this point because I was on the verge of tears. My mom said if I do not make the food, they will have to order food and I will inconvenience everyone. I said, then order it, and ended the conversation. I called my dad and he said he will come down to where I live and we can drive up to his place for Christmas so I can be with family that wants me there. So even if I wanted to help now, I will be a 2-hour drive away. Basically, they have no food plans for the party now. I suggested local chicken shops that do delivery or even buying frozen food from the shops, but they are saying they do not want to do that. While they did not want me there, I know everyone was counting on me for food. Now, from their perspective, I'm saying no and being selfish because I wanted to spend Christmas with my dad. I'm usually one to try to see both sides, but this is really difficult because, of course, I am biased and my feelings are hurt, so outside perspective would be nice. Thank you for any feedback. Postscript. Sorry if this is confusing. Please feel free to ask extra things I did not mention. I am incredibly tired right now and may have left some details out. Commenter 1. Not the asshole. I am very glad that your dad at least is there for you and actually wants to spend Christmas with you. I'm assuming your parents are divorced. Who has primary custody, or is it split 50-50? Could you talk to your dad about staying with him, since it seems like your mom does not want you around? Original poster's reply. Yes, they are divorced and have been for a little bit, about 5 years. Most of the time it's 50-50, but my dad got a promotion at work, so he works more often and just lets me stay at my mom's when he's extra busy. But he does say even if he's at work, I'm always welcome in his house, so I think he would not mind if I was there all the time. Commenter 2. Just curious, are the cousins your age that are attending male or female? Original poster's reply. All guys. Commenter 3. Has your mom done other things like this recently, basically using you for her own gain? Original poster's reply. Not that I've noticed or had a problem with. She often volunteers me to be making the food and babysitting and things like that during family events, but at least I am usually invited to those ones. Anyway, there are not many other situations that really bothered me or made me upset that I can think of off the top of my head.
Update. Hi guys, I had comments and private messages asking for an update, so here it is, quickly. This next part is also fluff and random stuff about fun things for my Christmas, so feel free to skip. I separated it to hopefully make it easier to read. I hope everyone had an awesome Christmas. Feel free to chat in the comments about what you got. I love talking about the holidays. I, for one, got a vintage car from my dad, which was insane, and I started crying. When I say crying, I mean I was bawling my eyes out. For anyone who knows cars, it's a Ford Falcon XY. I can't drive yet, but all I talk about is cooking and cars. He said I can have it for collection until I can start driving it around, and he insinuated I can have even more cars when he frees up his storage shed near his work. I could not cry. I was insanely excited. By far my best Christmas. I took a lot of comments into account with advice and also the nice messages as well, so I was feeling confident in my decisions. So yes, I did end up spending Christmas with my dad. I was at home and Mum was at work on Christmas Eve. He drove the hours and picked me up. I left Mum a little message letting her know I was with Dad. My message was followed by 34 messages of her basically telling me I am the worst daughter ever. She did not say those exact words, but she was saying how dare I leave without telling her? How dare I spend Christmas with not my family? Then it was a spam of messages telling me she was going to smash my things and she better not see me at New Year's because she is furious and does not want to look at my face. I copied and pasted from my notes the message I wrote back. I look forward to my Christmas with Dad's side who were happy to see me, and guess what? I don't even have to cook for them. They're relying on a teenager to feed 30 people. They're ordering food like normal people, like people who actually care about the people around them. Mum, I don't know what your problem was, but that whole situation hurt so bad, and you're the one person who is meant to be on my side if no one at all. I will see you after New Year's, and maybe we can talk. My dad helped me write it out. She kept messaging, but then I blocked her so I stopped getting spammed. I cried a little, but then felt better. Me and Dad got to the house, and you guys, along with the car, there were so many presents. I have never seen such a crowded Christmas tree in my life. I was ecstatic. I felt like a toddler in a toy shop. Christmas was overall so nice. My dad's girlfriend is very sweet, and her son is really funny. He's one of those people that you can tell is going to make a cool uncle one day, if that makes sense. I say all these nice things so you know my Christmas was really good, even with what I am about to say happened during and after. My aunt decided to post a long message on Facebook complaining about not having me, saying I abandoned the family. Then she started talking badly about my dad, calling him names. I reported the post and then called her and basically told her to take it down if she wants to speak to me ever again and to not talk badly about the one person that actually wanted me for Christmas. He did 10 times more than she was willing to give me with support and everything else. I was kind of spewing words because I was upset. I don't care about her Facebook friends talking badly about me, but my dad deserved better than that. She didn't say anything and just hung up. 20 minutes later, the post was deleted. A lot of family members continued to message me to yell at me. My dad said just block them and enjoy Christmas, but then came the spam calling. I did sort of have a panic attack at Christmas dinner, so he had to calm me down and take my phone for a bit until all the notifications stopped. They only stopped at midnight when I guess everyone was tired. I think it's safe to say I am going to live with my dad full time. I'm upset and nervous because school and everything is down with Mum, but hopefully if I can't live with Dad, I can stick out 4 years at Mum's, and when I get my full driver's license, I can be at Dad's whenever I'm not at school. Thanks for reading my word vomit. Happy holidays and New Year to everybody. Edit. I retrieved the messages after some commenters' advice, thanks to anyone who let me know it was smart to keep them. Commenter 1. It was not wise to remove your mum's messages. You might need them if child protection services are involved, and it's highly likely they will be, because this is definitely child abuse. Living with your mom will be easy from now on because you have put your foot down and abusers hate it. Your adulthood is very soon. It will be better then. Good luck. Original poster's reply. Thank you. I recovered the messages after seeing some of these comments and screen recorded it all with her number in it as well. Commenter 2. My stepfather had a vintage Falcon that he had restored. It's a really cute car. Original poster's reply. I love mine so much. I'm glad my dad was even able to find one.
Story 2. Am I the asshole for telling my husband that he created this mess and he needs to fix it? My husband and I always planned on having kids. It just ended up happening a couple of years earlier than expected due to a condom breaking. I honestly didn't mind. I was super happy to welcome our daughter, who I'll call Belinda. A few years later, we started trying for a second child. This time, it took a while to conceive, and we eventually had to use IVF. The doctors never figured out why I couldn't get pregnant the old-fashioned way the second time, but after one round of IVF, my husband and I welcomed our son, Philip. Belinda is now 15, and Philip is 9. Recently, a close family friend of ours has been going through their own infertility journey. My husband and I were talking about it when I mentioned IVF. Philip asked what IVF was, so I explained it and added, we used that to have you. Belinda then asked if we used IVF to have her. I was about to answer no and leave it at that when my husband suddenly cut in laughing and said, no, you're here because the condom broke. Belinda immediately looked hurt. We've already had the talk with her. She knows that sometimes condoms aren't effective, how they work, and other forms of birth control, so she fully understood what he meant. I quickly tried to fix it by saying, you were a surprise, but a very welcomed surprise. We always planned on having kids. It just happened a few years sooner than expected. Belinda nodded and quietly said, okay, but I could tell she was really upset. Later, I told my husband that he needed to apologize and make sure she understood that she's loved and wanted. He told me I was overreacting. I spoke with Belinda myself and reassured her that she is loved and wanted. She seemed to feel a little better, but not completely. A few weeks have passed, and Belinda has started making little comments, not playful ones. Clearly, she's still hurt. She'll say things to her dad like, well, clearly I was some big mistake, or sorry for inconveniencing you. My husband finally got fed up and told her she was being dramatic and that he didn't mean anything by his comment. After that, he told me to tell her to cut it out. I said no. He's the one who said it. He made her feel like crap, and he still hasn't actually talked to her about it. He needs to deal with the consequences. She's a sensitive teenage girl, and that's a scary combination when they feel rejected and unwanted by their father. Now my husband is saying I'm in the wrong. So, am I the asshole? Comments. Commenter 1. My mom was a whoops baby, and so was I. My son was also. If we're being honest, I think a lot of people on this earth are whoops babies. One of the best things I've ever heard said to a child who wasn't planned came from my grandma to my mom. She said, at first, I didn't know what I was going to do with you, but after you were here, I had no idea what I'd ever do without you. Maybe something like that coming from your husband could help, but he'll have to swallow his pride and actually have that conversation. Good luck. Commenter 2. Honestly, probably 50% of babies weren't planned at the time they were conceived. That doesn't mean they were mistakes or unwanted. My sisters and I were all born in the same week, 9 months after my parents' wedding anniversary. We do have one sibling who was probably planned. His birthday is in a different month. I never grew up feeling unwanted as baby number 3. Commenter 3. My kids were both born 9 months after my birthday. I'm waiting for the day they finally do the math. Story 3.
Am I the asshole for telling my wife's friend I do not have to see her in the classroom to know she is a horrible teacher? My wife's friend was supposed to come watch fireworks with us tonight, but she just texted my wife that she is not coming because I'm a nasty person who encourages my child to be rude and disrespectful. My wife and I just had a small argument about the situation that ended with her pulling a big Lebowski on me and saying I do not have to be wrong to be an asshole. That is true, but I think her friend is the asshole, not me. I will tell you what happened and you decide for us. My wife's friend was at our house for dinner. She is a teacher and she complains about it a lot. She says the parents are impossible to deal with, the administration is not supportive, everyone has an opinion on curriculum, and the kids do not listen. I include these complaints as context for the discussion. She told my wife she was working on her lesson plan for February and Black History Month, and she was making a fact sheet about Martin Luther King Jr. for her kids. Our son, who's a huge Star Trek fan, said that she should include the fact that Martin Luther King Jr. was a Star Trek fan. My wife's friend, with a very patronizing tone and expression, I might add, said that maybe he would have been if he had still been alive when it aired. Our son said that he was, and that he used to watch it with his daughters. My wife's friend said he died before the show aired. I told her she was wrong and my son was right. She said I was a perfect example of a parent that can't acknowledge when her child was wrong. I said no, you're a perfect example of a teacher that assumes she knows everything and can't connect with her students because she doesn't respect them. My wife forced us all to change the topic. After dessert, I pulled up a video on YouTube where Nichelle Nichols was discussing talking to Martin Luther King about Star Trek. I showed it to everyone. My wife's friend asked why I couldn't let the topic lie. I said I did not want my son to feel like he was wrong for sharing facts he knows about his interests. My wife's friend said I don't know what it's like to be a teacher. I said I don't, but I know she's a bad one. She said I never saw her in the classroom. I said I didn't need to because I see how she is in her daily life, and people are who they are regardless of where they are. So my wife's argument is that I'm an asshole for bringing the topic back up after it was settled. She said I could have played the video for our son after her friend left and taught him about giving grace and not needing external validation. I disagree and think it's important our kid knows we'll always stand up for him. So am I the asshole? Comments. Commenter 1. That conversation between Nichelle Nichols and Martin Luther King was famously groundbreaking. She was going to quit, but he convinced her to stay as a beacon to other people of color who saw her as an inspiration and hope for the future. Oh my God, awards, my first ones ever. Thank you so much. Commenter 2. Right? Perfect for Black History Month. Commenter 3. As a little girl, Whoopi Goldberg saw Nichelle Nichols and was inspired to become an actress herself, which she did. Whoopi eventually ended up on Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's a great story of why representation matters.
Story 4. Am I the asshole? Let's see what this story entails. My wife, Jessica, a 32-year-old female, and I, a 30-year-old male, have been married for 2 years and are trying for a baby. Jessica has an older sister, Mary, that she is not close to. She told me that they had a huge falling out over some family drama and just do not speak anymore. I asked a few times about the entire situation, but she would say she does not like talking about it and does not think it is important. It was Jessica's brother's birthday yesterday, and we were all over at his house to celebrate. Mary made an appearance, and there was a lot of drama. Long story short, she called Jessica and her brothers out for still associating with their dad when they know that he is a child molester. No one was paying her any mind, and I was really confused about what the hell was going on. When Mary left and Jessica and I went home, I asked Jessica what the hell happened. She said that when they were kids, Mary used to claim that their dad used to molest her. I asked if it is true, and Jessica was stuttering a lot. She said she knows her dad used to do bad things, but that Mary cut them all off when she turned 18 and moved out. I asked if she is admitting that she knows her dad was a child molester and did things to his own daughter. She said he does not do it anymore, and he was just in a really bad place in his life, and he apologized to Mary, so there is nothing else anyone can do for Mary. I was honestly appalled. I also feel so terrible for Mary. Mary made it seem like Mary did something wrong and deserved to be basically exiled from the family. I could have never imagined that this is what happened. I asked if she expects me to now be willing to have that man around our future children, and she started shouting at me, saying I'm judging him off something that happened 2 decades ago. She said whether I like it or not, he is going to be our child's grandpa, and he will be in their lives. I said if she insists on it, I think we need to hold off on having kids and have serious conversations about it. She is extremely angry at me, but I do not know how I could better react, to be honest. This feels like a huge deal that she is minimizing. Am I the asshole? Commenter 1. Not the asshole. Someone who has glossed over child molestation. Would she want to leave a future child of yours with grandpa for the night? That is chilling. And once you have kids, even if you divorced her for this later, you could not get full custody over this if grandpa never went to prison for it and is not a convicted sex offender. It's awful all the way around. I cannot believe you've been married 2 years before you even hear this story. Commenter 2. Not the asshole. Pedophiles rarely retire. Commenter 3. I also wonder if the original poster's wife was molested, but it is buried too deep. Commenter 4. Possible, but just because they are a child molester does not mean they molest any child they have an opportunity to. Some do, but some are more selective. Story 5. Am I the asshole for refusing any more communication with a girl who is not my daughter? Years ago, in my early 20s, I was contacted by my ex from high school telling me I had a daughter named Sarah, who was already 6 at the time. It was a pretty huge shock to me. I was still young and had no idea how to be a father to a young kid. But I met her anyway. I know it was pretty dumb of me to have just taken my ex's word for it, but I genuinely thought Sarah was mine. I met Sarah a couple times a month for 4 months in order to get to know her. I even took her to Disneyland once. My brothers had known about it, but they were surprised when they found out I never asked for a paternity test. It didn't even occur to me until we had that talk. So right away, I told my ex I wanted a paternity test. And what do you know, the kid was not mine. That's when she confessed she knew who the father was, but he died when Sarah was a few months old and she just wanted her daughter to have a dad. I stopped having contact right after and told her to find another father figure for her daughter. Through the power of social media, Sarah, now 18, found me and initiated contact. At first, I had no idea who she was until she mentioned my ex's name. As it turned out, my ex never told her the truth, only that I had to go, whatever that means. But Sarah has been trying to find me, I guess, and wanted us to have contact. I didn't want to be the one to tell Sarah, so I said, speak to your mom about why I wasn't around. My ex finally told her, I guess, because Sarah messaged me again asking if we could meet. She said she knows I'm not her father, but I'm the only one she knows and would still like for us to have something between us. I told her it would be better if we didn't. Yes, I was in her life for a short period, but we are both strangers now. I have my own life with my own family, and she should focus on making her own family with people she cares about. Sarah was clearly not happy with this. She sent me more messages and tried to video call me. I told her we would not be having more contact and blocked her. A few days ago, I found out she contacted my other family on Facebook, my sisters and one of my brothers. They heard her side of this and are saying I'm being too hard on the kid. My sister says she may not be mine, but to her, I'm still the only father figure she had in her life, so why not continue being that for her? It feels insane to me. I have a wife and a son. She is not my daughter.
It's hard to see how not wanting any more contact between us is something bad. I told my family they are free to take up the mantle if they want, but I will not have anything else to do with her. But their argument is she wants me as a father figure in her life, and that is why I'm being too heartless with her. So, am I the asshole? Commenter 1. Not the asshole. 4 months, 12 years ago does not make you a father figure. It also seems likely that your ex has been spinning plenty of lies during her daughter's childhood. Original poster's reply. Seems that way. I have no idea why she would. What good could that have done to her daughter, making her think her dad walked out instead of saying I wasn't her father to begin with? Commenter 2. Information request. Do you not want to know her because it's tied to baggage that might have been a roller coaster at the time? Have you talked about it with your wife? Is it possible to have closure? Meet together and catch up on the years between. Talk about where your lives are now, and you can say with kindness and compassion that you do not have the capacity to be a father figure to her, to her face. She wants you in your life because she cherishes those memories, and you have been part of her narrative her whole life. She has talked about you, looks at your photos, and probably learned about or looked into things that she learned from you to piece together this idea of a person, culture, and lineage that makes up half of her. I have a similar situation, except my dad really is my dad, and we didn't get a solid relationship until my 30s. He's my father, not my dad, but I cherish getting to know him, even if it's just calls every few months. To be honest, your response to shut her out sounds like mine when my dad tried to reach out when I was in my teens. I wasn't ready. You have every right to control personal boundaries, but I definitely think this could use more special care. You can have compassion for her situation, treat her how you would want someone you loved to be treated, and still reach closure. You're a parent now and can use your emotional intelligence to be more graceful than blocking her. Whoever said 4 months at 6 years old is no big deal either has never been in a situation like this or doesn't understand how memories and feelings work, or what it feels like to be missing part of what makes you who you are. Edit. Thank you for the awards. Original poster's reply. I don't want to know her because we are strangers. What happened with her mother was years ago, and while it screwed me up for some time, I made my own life. My wife is aware of it, and we are both uncomfortable with the idea. The fact that she still insisted we have some sort of father-daughter relationship, despite being told already that I'm not her biological father, is what makes me not want to even meet her at all. I would rather not open that door, letting her think there could be more when I have my own family to focus on and a life to focus on. I understand her life was hard. I can't imagine the difficult emotions she is going through, but I'm not a licensed therapist and can't offer the mental or emotional help this girl needs because, again, we are strangers. She knows the idea of me and has the memories of our brief time together from years ago, but she doesn't know me and I don't know her. I gave her the best advice I can give. Find people you care about and make your own family. Commenter 3. Not the asshole. Her mom is. I doubt she ever stopped the lie with her daughter until she got found out recently. She probably doubled down on dad left the moment you were gone, then got stuck carrying the lie for the duration so not to be caught out for the duration. It's a tough break to spend over 12 years thinking you knew who your dad was, only to have it fall away to nothing overnight. Realistically, she's mentally invested in you being someone you aren't. And even now she knows you're not her father, she's trying to salvage something from this mess by forcing you into that role. Definitely some therapy needed for her.
This brings us to the end of our story. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe.